Yes, guys. Ryjack back for another live stream. We're here to talk about the Spurs game. Not what we were hoping for. I do apologize for no live stream, no watch along for the game. I was away for the weekend, but now I am back. Content continues to roll, and I will be doing more live streams, of course, more TikTok shorts, Instagram shorts, YouTube shorts, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, check those out in the channel description. We also have a Discord where it's a bunch of City fans who are just, hanging out, discussing games, transfers, everything that's going on. So now, let's just get right into it. Yes, we all know Spurs. I don't want to say they dominated us, but I will pull this up here so we can look at it. 2-0 Spurs. Brennan Johnson gets the goal in the 35th minute, and João Palhinha gets the second in the 45 plus 2 of stoppage time. So let's talk about it. I know everyone's wanting to blame James Trafford, and that's where all of the probably the discourse is right now. We need Ederson. Oh, we need Donnarumma. Trafford's not ready, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, at least, I think the error was a combination of things for Trafford. I mean, if we look at not the table, the lineup here, no one particularly had a very good game for City. No one's in green. Everyone is an orange rating. Yes, Trafford does have a low rating of 6.2, and he was at fault for that goal specifically. So, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because this is the way Pep wants to beat the press. He wants to pass the ball from keeper directly to our six, who then first times it either out to a center back or fullback. And we've done that for years. All Things Football is in the chat. Says, sup, how you doing, my guy? Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a better weekend than, me and City fans in general. I hope you're able to have some fun outside of the fat L we took. But like I was saying, this whenever any other opponent presses City and the goalie has the ball, the objective is a directive from the coaching staff. Play it to the six, whoever that is, whether it's Nico, Rodri, or Gundo. We've seen for years. And he will first time pass it out wide to a fullback on either side or a center back who's wide extending. So with that in mind, I'm assuming that is so drilled into the goalie's brain that Trafford doesn't feel the freedom to long ball it to Haaland when he's supposed to play it to Nico. And I think Pep probably accepts that errors will potentially happen that way, but that's what he wants. I think you can remember years ago when Ederson went way long and we scored, and Pep went sick at Ederson for not going short. So, yes, the error is on Trafford. Maybe in that scenario it was too close of a call to make that pass, but I do think it's just burned in their brain to pass to this six coming close to the ball to collect to first time out to break the press initially. And so yes, it is Trafford's error. He shouldn't make that pass, but I also think it's on the staff for drilling that so hard that that's the pass you must make. Maybe now that we have Trafford and not Ederson and potentially Donnarumma, we should be saying, this is our first read to play this pass here. If it's questionable, just go long. Just hoof it to Haaland and he can do some hold-up play. That's possible as well. That's a possible change that I think would be a fair change to make based on going from Ederson, the greatest ball-playing keeper in history, to anyone else. So that's an idea for me. On the first goal, for Brennan Johnson, it's a bit unlucky. John Stones slips trying to, I guess, do an offside trap, and he can't recover in time. Rico Lewis not quite pacey enough to get back and defend. He was so close. I think, honestly, he should have gotten there. It looks like the ball went and his leg kind of, instead of just sliding leg extended, he tried to make it in time and sweep it away. I don't know. They could have potentially scored either way, even if Rico had gotten there and just halted the ball. I don't know, but Rico didn't have a great game himself after signing that new contract, unfortunately. And like I said, it's not just Rico, it's not just James Trafford, it's not just Marmoush or Daku. It's no one was particularly good in that game. So I see on Twitter everyone's like, "Oh, Rico had a bad game," and then someone responds and is like, "How could you call out Rico when everyone was bad?" And it's like, this guy was also really bad. It's like, guys, let's relax here. It's game week 2. Game week 2. We have 3 points. We won our first game 4-0, and we lost our second game 2-0. Like, and if you look at the stats of this game, they actually favor City. We had dominated possession. We had more XG. They had more shots. We had basically the same on target. We missed 2 big chances. They missed 1. We had double their passes. We had 5 more corners than them. I mean, it was not horrible like people are making it out to be. The Nameless One says, "I think City team not balanced. City need a right back." Well, I do kind of agree. A right back would help. I was hopeful that Rico Lewis could do a job as a right back this season, and Mateus Nunes maybe as well. I do think that Rico was really good in the first game, and there's been some discussion that when we play really well, Rico plays really well, and when we play really poorly, Rico plays really poorly. And it is something that I would say I've kind of noticed. I don't know why that is. Maybe he's not an out-and-out match winner type player. He's like a squad player who, I don't know how to describe it, but he lifts when others lift, and when others are down, he doesn't have the ability to drag others up. Maybe it is what it is with Rico. And I do agree, though, an out-and-out right back who's, let's say like a Kyle Walker would be helpful. Not Kyle Walker now, obviously. He is well and truly past it, but a right back of the future that's young, pacey, powerful, can defend, can maybe cross the ball a little bit better than Kyle Walker would be nice. All Things Football says, sad part is I think we actually played good, just wasn't clinical, made as many chances as Wolves. I agree with this. I do agree with this. If you look, like I said, at the stats, we had more XG. We were expected to score more than Spurs. We gave Spurs this goal, unfortunately, and this was a extremely tight offside, semi-offsides decision that could have gone either way had John Stones moved an inch or two quicker, or a second or two quicker. And other than those 2 particular chances, they didn't really have much. Trafford made a nice save at the end of the game that I thought was good. It was actually a double save, and I mean, you would have expected him to make the saves for sure, but nonetheless, he did make those saves. If you look at the momentum chart, I mean, primarily the momentum chart is with City, and I know this doesn't describe the game in all things, everything, but it is true. We're hindered by Ait-Nouri's injury. He looked solid in the first 20 minutes. He was moving up and down the pitch. He was in the midfield. He was out wide, and we all know he's a very talented, gifted footballer, and downgrading from his attacking ability to Nathan Ake's attacking ability is negative. It negatively impacts the attacking prowess we have. Nathan Ake, of course, is a better defender than Ryan Ait-Nouri is, and for the most part, I thought City defended pretty well. The one goal, this one is something we're going to concede. When we play very far up the pitch, we're going to concede counterattacks. It's just part of the way we play, that those are the goals we're going to score. We're not going to really concede goals where we're sitting deep and they're breaking us down one pass at a time, because we don't ever get in that situation. We basically always have the ball. So those are the goals you concede. So let's say we end up conceding just this one, we take away this error, and then we convert a couple of chances we have, we actually win the game. On another day, we win the game. Elias is big up, bro. Welcome, Elias, our resident Spurs fan. I'm sure he had a better day than we did. If you look at the lineup again, I mean, I could go through the chances that we had. Marmouche, 2 chances in the first half where he's one-on-one with the keeper. Could have scored either. Should have scored at least one for sure. And doesn't. Holland had at least 2 chances. One was a free header that he did. It was just, he didn't quite get enough on it. He had another one later in the game, that same deal, just not quite in the corner enough, and it's right at the keeper, or it's over the bar. Cherky was unfortunately pretty non-existent. I don't know if maybe this midfield 3 that we were all asking for doesn't work as well as if Bernardo is there. And I know people don't like that, but the midfield 3 of Nico, Reinders, and Bernardo, we won the game 4-0. Yeah, we played Wolves, and yeah, this was against Spurs, but Cherky, Reinders, and Nico G did not work particularly well, obviously, by this scoreline. So I know everyone's begging for Pep to play the young guys. Well, we did, and it didn't come off for us, unfortunately. I thought Oscar Bob had probably a better game than Marmouche and Doku when Doku came on. And then Foden came on for Bob, and I thought Foden was pretty solid as well. Foden probably a little bit better than Bob. I guess. I mean, it was quiet from everybody. Don't worry, I'm not here to dance on the graves. I am not that kind. Thank you, Elias. I appreciate that. We all appreciate that, I'm sure. The center back partnership, Ruben Diaz, John Stones. Again, not horrible, not great. Diaz doesn't win the header for the first goal, which unfortunately we see a lot. Ruben Diaz is not great in the air, and John Stones was the one who played, who was it? Richarlison onside. So not the best day from Stones and Diaz, but again, all things considered, it was a game we could have won and potentially should have won. Reinders had another opportunity in the first half. He received the ball like right about here from Holland, and he had acres of space, and instead maybe overthought it and tried to dink a ball over the top to Cherky that just wasn't on at all. If he turns Phil Foden style, takes a couple of touches in, 1 or 2 touch, and tries to shoot, maybe he scores. Maybe he doesn't, but a chance for sure here for Reinders that just was not taken. At one point, we were on a break, and the ball should have been played out wide to Marmouche, but instead it was cut inside, and a long shot was taken. Poor decision-making there. So there is more than 5 opportunities to score goals during the game, and I think all in all, in general, if you think about that, you would think we did much better than the 2-0 shows. Elias says, I think Bob was good. I think he was all right. I don't know that he was as good as he was in the first game. He was better than Marmouche for sure, and he subbed off in 75th minute, just not quite enough going. Nico G, I thought was fine. I didn't notice any major mistakes, but I know a lot of people will be upset when teams counter us. They think the 6 is the one that kind of is the counter stopper, like Rodri does for us, but we have to remember no one is as good as Rodri. Pep came out and said before the game, Rodri is the best player in the world. No one can do what Rodri does, and Nico G, especially as a lone 6, is just not going to be capable of doing what Rodri does. So getting Rodri back full time is going to seriously impact us in a very positive way. Doku didn't do much when he came on. Bernardo wasn't very good when he came on. Ake was fine. Not a whole lot went down his side. Rodri, I thought, was an improvement to the team, and I thought Foden was an improvement to the team as well. Then if you look at the bench, Ederson does make a bench appearance. Is it his last appearance? Potentially. I'm sure we can talk about that here in a minute. Kusanov, again, does not get minutes. Nico Riley, no minutes. Nunez, no minutes. So I don't know. I don't know. We got some injuries as well, players to come back. Gvardiol will be a much welcomed defender returning. I think Kovacic can maybe bring some composure to the midfield when he's able to play again, whenever that is. This says October. I don't know if it'll be that long. And then Savinho maybe is leaving, and I think probably will leave in the next few days or so. Also, Aït-Nouri going out took a lot out of that left side for you guys. Yeah, for sure. Aït-Nouri's injury was very unfortunate, and I don't know if I would say swung the game the other way, but we I think are better attacking when he's on the pitch. Marmoush ain't the kind to play wide and kiss the lines. That is correct. Marmoush is not a touchline winger for sure. That's not what he's going to do. He's going to cut inside and play, central to, I guess, box extended area of the pitch. He's definitely not going to be a touchline winger. So those are at least my thoughts on the game. At least if you look at the table, we're currently sitting in 6th. No big deal. We're 2 games in. I think people are major overreacting to the result here and saying, I saw stuff that Pep needs to go. Pep needs to be sacked. Pep has lost it. Like, guys, let's relax a bit here. 2 games. We started many young players. It's going to take some time for perfectly mesh. So let's not get carried away with this nonsense about sacking Pep 2 games in. I think we can do better than that as fans. We reportedly agreed personal terms with Don. I think he means Gianluigi Donnarumma. I can pull that up, I'm sure. That is an alleged Fabrizio tweet, I think, from this morning. Fabrizio Romano. What a guy Fabrizio is, by the way. Just recycling news. It is rather insane. Here it is. Gigi Donnarumma has agreed on personal terms with Man City, keen on joining Pep. Negotiations are underway between City and PSG. Fee will be under initial 50 million euros. Request deal still depends on Ederson exit, with Galatasaray still keen. So, again, I still am confident this happens. Otherwise, I don't know why Ederson doesn't play. I guess there's a possibility the deal breaks down and doesn't go through. But I just don't see how, if we think Donnarumma is an improvement, how we're fighting over Galatasaray, getting between 10 and 13 million pounds for Ederson, who's out the door on a free next season. I don't see it. And if you're worried about Trafford, like I know many City fans are, and you're worried that mistake is going to become an every game or every other game type thing, and you want Donnarumma in, then I don't really get why they're arguing over a few million for Ederson. I think it'll get done. We're just waiting for the final approval between City and PSG on the deal. Probably. Not about to type Donnarumma every second. Would we really agree personal terms? We think Ederson stays. See, I think this is it is what it is. I think it's a done deal. We're just waiting for everything to be written up correctly and officially official. That's my guess. I don't know why you guys want to replace Ederson. I don't think, Elias, that we necessarily want to replace Ederson. 32 isn't too old and he isn't that bad. I think Ederson wants to leave. Ederson wants to get a new challenge. He's been here for like 8-9 years. He wants a fat bag in Turkey or Saudi. He wanted to leave last summer. He's got 1 year left in the contract. The way to look at that is sell before he leaves on a free. And I think even City were open to the letting him leave on a free, having him be the number 1 this year with Trafford as the understudy, learning from Ederson. But again, Ederson is able to go to Galatasaray now, and City find out Donnarumma is interested, then they got to move. They got to move and try to improve the squad if they can. And the weird, I say weird, the thing is, Donnarumma very well could have made that mistake yesterday with Trafford. It's widely out there that Donnarumma's not very good playing with the ball out the back, and that's fine. I just think if Ederson leaves and Donnarumma comes in, we may have to change the style a bit. Like I said, how that first ball is into a dangerous, semi-dangerous area for the 6, who then sprays it out to a side for the extended player. I don't think you can do that with Donnarumma, probably, based on what people are saying about his ability to play the ball at the back. Is he a good shot stopper? Yes. Is he better shot stopper than Ederson? Yes. Is he better shot stopper than Trafford? Probably yes. I mean, he He's a world-class shot stopper, in my opinion. From the games I've seen, no, I haven't watched every single Donnarumma game of his life, like some people allege to have done, but from what I've seen, he is good. He's good. And going to be good enough for sure, in my opinion. So, let me go back over here. Let me look at something here. There was some Savinho news a little while ago. Let me see if I can find that. Pull that back up so we can discuss that as well for sure. Sell him before they watch the Club World Cup highlights. Yeah, he wasn't great in the Club World Cup, unfortunately. And I think that's probably his decline is partially why we're getting a little bit lower of a fee for Ederson for sure. It's unfortunate, but Ederson's decline has been. It's not been like a cliff drop off. It's been gradual, but he has been down on his normal quality for sure. Is he asking for a contract extension? Ederson, as far as I'm aware, has not asked for a contract extension. He's asked other clubs for pay rises. Donnarumma wanted a contract extension, but I don't think he is getting that. And he did the goodbye PSG, goodbye Paris fans type thing the other day. Martin, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well, everybody. If you're not familiar, go check out Martin's channel. Great channel. I am on there on Wednesday nights on Stateside Blues. He says, afternoon all. Hope all is well. He is definitely a good shot stopper. Donnarumma, that is correct. And yes, Martin's confirming we are all agreed in hands of Galatasaray for Donnarumma to happen. We're still waiting for the all clear on that. Who knows if we get it? I would imagine we do. Like I said, I don't know why. If City feel Donnarumma is an answer to a particular problem, agreeing this Ederson deal seems like something they would push for and be able to get done, probably. You would think, but again, City have their number, and maybe they're just not willing to accept certain numbers if they don't feel, I don't know, they're being respected, or they don't feel they're getting a good deal. Looking for this Savinho news now here. There was a report that Spurs were willing to go to 70 million euros, and City wanted 80 million euros. So again, 10 million difference is, here it is. It's a Rudy Galletti report, who has 151K. I'm familiar with the name Rudy Galletti. I don't know if we're saying 100% accurate or not, but says Tottenham are prepared to make an extra effort for Savinho with a club record bid. He's seen as the ideal signing. So what does that mean exactly? I don't know. I don't know what that means. But are they going to go to 80 million euros like City are allegedly asking for? That seems a little bit crazy to me. I mean, I know the market is nuts and crazy, and all the deals are inflated and whatnot, but Savinho, while he has major potential, are we saying he's an 80 million euro 80 million euro footballer? There is just no way, in my opinion, that he's worth that. If Spurs want to pay it and whatever, then it is what it is. City getting a great deal there. But the guy's 20, 21 years old and scored 2 or 3 goals for us last season. I don't know how you can sanction a deal for that type of money, and I don't know how you can decline that if you're City. Martin says, have to bid soon. There will be no messing on negotiating this week. That is true. I have been saying in all my streams, we got plenty of time. But, I mean, at this point, we are about a week left in this window. My personal opinion is the deals will be done at the same time. Savinho out, Rodrigo in. If City decides Rodrigo is the one they want, I think it'll happen simultaneously, and maybe that's why it's taking so long. But again, from what we understand, Spurs have been allegedly open to this bid. I don't know that they've actually made a bid or made the improved bid that they're saying. I mean, it says prepared to make extra effort. It doesn't say have bid for Savinho, a record signing. It doesn't say that. It just says prepared. How long are they preparing this situation for? It's a weird one. If by Wednesday, no movement, I don't see Savio leaving. Wednesday, when would that put us to? Wednesday would put us to the 27th. I think we have until the 1st. It would be close. It would be really close for sure. So hopefully by Wednesday we have some news, Martin, so we can talk about it on Stateside Blues. That'd be great. We don't negotiate too much. This is Elias, the Spurs fan. We learned it from our Eze negotiations. Well, it's also possible that based on these failures in signings by Spurs, maybe they change their approach a bit. You know, if you keep doing something the same way and you keep failing your objective, maybe it's smart to change your approach a bit and, I don't know, make a bid officially. But maybe Daniel Levy is a prideful man and says it's my way or the highway. I don't know. I'm not in these boardrooms seeing how it goes. And Martin does say no bid made yet as of now. So it's a tough one, guys. Like, it is what it is. If Spurs want to pony up and pay the cash that City asked for, I think he'll go. I don't think Savinho is shutting down any of this like some other players have, like John Stones saying, I don't know what these rumors are about. I'll be here no matter what or whatever. And I know Ederson kind of did that, and it looks like he might leave anyway. But Savinho has been pretty quiet. There's been pictures of him training on his own. Maybe he's injured type thing, training, working from home. So I don't know. If he wasn't going, I think at least by now he would have come out and said, this isn't happening. Or some City journalist would have come out and said, Savinho isn't interested. He's not. It doesn't have to be Savinho himself, I guess. But Daniel Levy is an old, proud, grumpy man. I could see that. Who thinks it's my way or the highway. Well, it's a hurdle that must be overcome in these negotiations if anything is to amount to anything at all, for sure. There was also some Spurs news while we're talking about Spurs. They're interested in Bilal El Khanous. I don't think this is a Savinho replacement, probably. I don't watch Leicester day in, day out like some people do, but Bilal El Khanous says he's a midfielder. Maybe he can play on the wing, but I see Savinho as probably separate to that, most likely. Let me see if I can find the report about the money. I saw it earlier today. There it is. By Ben Jacobs and Alex Crook. It says, Tottenham are willing to pay more than 70 million euros for Savinho. City want over 80 million euros to reconsider their position. This is interesting because, Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs are pretty good sources, I would say. They're not like Sam Lee or Jack Orhan type deals, but like I said, I don't think 80 million is doable. I don't know. I don't want El Khanous. He is bang average. I actually like El Khanous last year. I thought he was pretty good in the couple of games I watched Leicester, but going from Eze to El Khanous, probably not the move for Spurs there. So if we get 80 million euros for Savinho, I think City have done a madness on a deal. And I don't know the exact transfer, what it is in pounds, but 71 million pounds, something like that. That's fantastic business, in my opinion. City paid 21 whatever million for the guy. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I personally think the deal is still on. I think it still happens because Savinho hasn't played a single game for City this season. I just think it's going to get done somehow, some way. That's my personal opinion. I could be way off base and totally wrong, but I just think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen, guys. I think it's going to happen. I'd rather we get Savinho for 80 and not waste money on El Khanous. I don't know that Spurs feel that way. Like, 80 is a lot of money. 80 is a lot of money. I'm still looking just to see if there any bit of news at all. There's this right here, but it's kind of the same thing. City remains surprised at how strongly Savinho wants to move just a year after joining the Etihad. This is from Dean Jones Soccer. Again, don't know who that is. Not really sure. I don't know. It says Savinho strongly wants to move. I guess that's a little bit different. I guess it's a little different than maybe what we've heard, but I don't know. I say we need 5 days to do Rodrigo. I would agree with that. We need quite some time to get this Rodrigo deal done. We haven't even started negotiating on Rodrigo, and they want over 100 million euros. This, they want less, is false. There are some reports about like the 70 million, something like that, and I was a little surprised as well on that price. I think we as the supporters are unaware of how much background maybe agent stuff is going on. I don't know. I feel like City would not be selling Savinho unless they are 100% confident they can get Rodrigo done. My personal opinion. Yes, it's going to take time, and maybe it's like a final day type thing, but I think if Savinho goes, Rodrigo is in the bag, personally. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I have too much faith in the club, but I think Savinho would get done because Rodrigo has advanced so much in the background by maybe the intermediaries, third-party people, or Hugo and Perez, or I don't know. And we find out later that, Viana and Perez have been in secret talks. I would not be surprised. Maybe that's way wrong, but that's just my personal take. Fabrizio even said Rodrigo is not an easy deal. Huge fee, huge wage, huge agent fee. I'd say 10% chance, sadly. Interesting. 10% is not good, guys. For the guys who are interested in probabilities, 10%, not a good chance. But I don't think Savinho goes then. If Rodrigo is not doable, Savinho stays, my opinion. Sei says, hi, Donnarumma to Man City. Here we go. Not quite. We have agreed personal terms, allegedly. Allegedly agreed personal terms, but at the moment, I don't know. Another big City Twitter account kind of backs up what Martin says. He says at the minute I'd give Rodrigo to City 5 to 15% chance. Martin said 10%, which is a low number for sure. But I don't know, guys. I still think it's doable. I think it is doable, even if it's unlikely. Maybe. I don't know. It's a hard one for me to say that City will sell Savinho for this 80 million and then just be like, we ran out of time. So, I don't know. There's been also some other news about Gundogan. Maybe not super notable because he didn't even make the bench this weekend, but Gundogan will leave City in next days as he's not in Pep's plans. This is from Nico Shira. Again, unfamiliar on the source. Maybe it's all right. I've seen him a couple of times, but I don't know that I'd put him as heavy reliability here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gundo leaves. There's been allegedly interest all over Europe. I saw something that said Bayer Leverkusen were interested in him, Saudi, MLS, other teams in Europe, and fair enough. I mean, Gundogan, even at 35 years old, is a very high-quality player, in my opinion. He's just not maybe quite athletic enough to be a midfielder in the Premier League, one of the more physical leagues in the world. I think he would be good in another league for sure. If he went to Turkey and played for Galatasaray, I think he'd be one of the best players in the league. My opinion, maybe that's fake news, but I rate Gundogan very, very highly, even still. So, I think it happens, maybe. Akanji, no movement on that. The last we've heard is basically it's up to him if he wants to go. Didn't make the bench. Maybe that's because of the negotiations ongoing and they didn't want to risk an injury. Or maybe it's because the deal's done and we're just waiting to finalize things on this week. So who knows, guys? Who knows? We are about 35 minutes in. I'm just checking some news now to see if there's any update at all. Not seeing much. I mean, Grealish got 2 assists this morning. Interesting. I know people are probably screaming, we should have kept Grealish. But, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Let's relax. Let's relax with the overreactions and whatnot. It is what it is. we move. City are going to be fine. I am confident we will be all right. Whether we get Rodrigo, don't get Donnarumma, I'm confident in the current team we have, personally. Anyway, next game up for City is, I believe, Brighton. Let's see. Brighton on Sunday, 1 week from today, 9 a.m. for me. I think that's 1 o'clock kickoff for you guys over in the UK. I will be doing a live stream for that, of course, and I will also have a lot of content throughout this week, a lot of shorts, TikToks, Instagram Reels. The Discord will be active as always. If you guys are interested in that, check that. The link to the Discord is in the channel description. I will be on Stateside Blues on Martin's channel on Wednesday night, as long as everything goes through with that. And maybe another live stream tomorrow if there is more transfer news, of course. After I get home, it'll be a later one today. Nice day off from work, so got to do it nice and early. But tomorrow will be a later one for me, assuming there's more news to talk about. And I do think there will be. Transfer window, 1 week left. There's a lot to get done. So I do appreciate it, guys. We did a nice little 35, 40-ish minute session here. I will be back, like I said. If you're new, sub. If you're new, of course, very much appreciated. Going for 500 subs, and check all the social links in the channel description. I appreciate everything, and I will see you guys in the next one.